Well, hi guys, and welcome to Dan and Bryn Start a Gym. Today I'm going to be going over how to make scrambled eggs the way I like them. A little trick that I learned just a few weeks ago to really add a lot of flavor to your eggs. When you have to eat the same thing every single day, you want to start being really generous with your spices. I'm going to shut that cupboard door real quick. And so we're going to go over how to make scrambled eggs my favorite way, with a little bit of carbohydrates in the form of oatmeal, some olive oil, some dill, some pink Himalayan salt, and some black pepper. So here we go. Alright, so the first thing we want to do when we're scrambling eggs, and not that most of us don't already know how to do this, but I'm doing this because, well, I really like scrambled eggs. For those of you who know me, I do eat anywhere between 8 eggs to 12 eggs during the week, and typically I eat 20 eggs every Saturday and every Sunday. I love eggs. I can't get enough of them. Right now what I'm doing is I'm heating up the pan so it gets nice and hot. I'll end up adding, and I'll just end up eyeballing it, a little bit of olive oil. So here I've got my extra virgin olive oil just like that. I'm just going to eyeball what looks to be about a tablespoon, a generous tablespoon of olive oil in there. Now I'm going to try and get the pan as hot as I can. I'm a bit of an impatient person myself, and so the hotter I can make the pan, the faster the eggs will cook. And some people don't necessarily like that, but it doesn't bother me. The other thing that I have here is I have just a 1/4 cup of oatmeal. I used rolled oats, the Quaker State rolled oats for that oatmeal right there. I don't cook it in advance, it's just dry. I tend to think of it as sort of a binder. Not that you need to bind scrambled eggs. I don't milk them first and then put them inside of a bowl and that sort of stuff. But this is a way that I can stay consistent with eating the same stuff every day. When you're eating the same thing every single day, you're going to have to start getting creative with how you cook it. If you've ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, on the movie, Bubba could say that he could make shrimp any which way, and there's a whole scene where he's going into how often, or all the different kinds of shrimp things he can make with shrimp. You know, shrimp kebab, barbecue shrimp, shrimp scampi, all this other stuff. I can do the same thing with chicken and with eggs, and so I can make chicken and eggs in 1,000 different ways, so it rarely gets boring. At this point of the game, I tend to think about chicken as being the vegetable of the meat world, and so, which I'm sure there's going to be some vegans and vegetarians that freak out about that, but chicken is kind of like tofu in the sense that however you season it and spice it depends on how good it's going to be, and you can get really creative or you can be really bland with it. And so when it comes to making sure that you're eating consistently, you want to make sure that you're not necessarily eating the same thing every day, but that you know what it is you're eating and how it effectively gets into your body. And that way, if you're not seeing progress, if you're not seeing changes, you know what to fix. If you're eating very sporadically all the time, different kinds of stuff, you'll never quite know what's working and what's not working. And so I do make little changes here and there. Right now I am on pace or a little bit ahead of schedule for where I need to be body composition wise for my men's classic physique bodybuilding competition, and so I get to start eating a few more carbs to try to get back on schedule. I don't necessarily want to be ahead of schedule too terribly much. Now, as far as how much dill I put in there, I don't know if you can see that very well, but just a light covering over the whole thing. Like I said, I tend to be pretty dang generous when it comes to how much spices I put in there. Next, I spread in my oatmeal. I just kind of cover the top like that. Now what I like to do before I break the yolks is I like to get the egg whites partially cooked or semi-cooked. Next, I'm pretty generous with the pink Himalayan salt. I just kind of sprinkle it over the top there, just like so. And then we'll end up adding some black pepper, just like that. And again, how much you use is really up to you, but if you're having problems eating your food because you're just tired of chicken, or you can't eat any more eggs, or it's getting too bland, then you're probably not seasoning it well enough, and you can be quite a bit more generous with your seasonings. They make all kinds of spice racks that are just amazing, and so you could use minced and dried onion, garlic. There's lots of different ways you can do it. But we'll let that cook for just a minute, and then we'll break the yolks and scramble it up. Well, alright guys, here we go. Looks like the egg yolks are cooked enough that to my consistency that I like. You can start scrambling whenever you want. I do know some people who would put this particular recipe in a bowl. I then just go ahead and poke the egg yolks to get them to start to break, and then I just start folding it over itself until it starts getting where I want, which is just like that. And from this point on, I just kind of keep doing the same thing and just folding it over itself, letting it cook, and just making sure that there's no runny spots anywhere. I think all in all, it took me about 5 minutes to make this. And I know a lot of people think that I eat a lot of eggs. You have to remember when it comes to eggs, the egg yolk itself is HDLs. It's consistently good cholesterol, not bad cholesterol. And for men, that's really important. You want to make sure you're getting enough fat in your diet as a man, because it helps with testosterone production. If you're not getting enough fat in your diet, then men's libidos begin to drop. And so, thus the problem with statins like Lipitor and some other things, which is a completely different conversation than what we'll need to have. Well, these bad boys look like they're about ready for me, so I'm going to put them on a plate and get ready to chow down.